Welcome to Tech Talk, a video series about how to create a smarter workplace with technology. In this episode, we'll take a look at 5 factors that drive the cost of audiovisual solutions. So grab a cup of coffee and let's take 5. Today we're going to run through that list. The first of those factors being utilization.
So, as we all know, some of these systems that people are wanting to put in can range in cost from fairly inexpensive to something that can be costly. And the big question comes into is how are you going to utilize the technology that you're putting in? And that will drive the cost. What are the features, the functions that we're trying to achieve? Now, with that cost also comes a return. So we have to take a broad scope look at the equipment that we're putting in and the functionality of that equipment. Yes, equipment does cost a little bit, but then so does the space that we're putting in. Who's going to be using that space? What functions are they going to be using that space for? And what kind of productivity can we get out of it? So I like to try to look at not just I want to use this room for video conferencing, or I'm just going to use it for training. I'm not just going to use it for boardroom meeting space, but can we use it for multiple places like that? And even if you're putting in a large display, can we put digital signage on that and bring customers through and have them see that and see our message that way? So the utilization of the space not only is about the cost for the audio-visual support and supplies and stuff like that, it's also on how you use it and what is the return on that investment that you're putting in with the AV equipment. That multi-purpose use of the rooms and the spaces and the technology we put in, it doesn't do any good if nobody knows how to run it, nobody knows how to turn it on and operate it. If you can say, okay, we're going to put a digital signage system in the front room, and it might look great for the first week because the integrator put it up, set it up for you, and got it running. But if it's the same slide that's been on there for the last 9 months because no one knows how to update it, then that digital signage is really kind of useless. It doesn't go to the purpose that you bought it for. What made them successful is because they were somewhat easy to use and figure out. Same thing with the boardroom, the meeting spaces. As we come back into the workplace, what are those meeting spaces, operation rooms that we do our business in? How easy are they to operate, and so that we can get the job done? So with the product selection, along with simplicity and utilization, you have to look at who's going to be operating it or trying to make it work and using it on a day-to-day basis. If you have a production studio, you put in a production studio type of equipment. The switchers expend lots of knobs and but people are trained on how that works. But there's lots of things that it can do. Conference room, if the people in there are not overly tech savvy, they're technology challenged or administratively challenged on controlling that stuff, and they focus on other things other than the technology. How easy is it for them to be able to come in and turn it on and use the equipment? So the simplicity of use goes along with the selection of equipment. I don't want to get something that's going to have 150 knobs on it if all they need to do is select 3. The situation that we're running into right now is as people are coming back to work in the workplace, and where everybody is looking at all of these factors that we've mentioned up to this point, the supply chain is being strained a little bit. And so we have to find products that will work together and that are available. And the easy stuff, the kits and so on, are flying off the shelves. And so to find those alternative products, sometimes it costs a little bit more for them to be able to put it in a timely manner so that when they are in and running, when we all come back to work. And so you have to, it is a balancing act on
Sure.
what you can do and what you can't do and how long can you wait before you try to put it in. And then on top of it, we have, everybody's wanting to do this at the same time. So we have not only a material demand, we also have people to put it in.
Mm-hmm.
And so, it takes time and effort to design it, put that stuff in, and that's the expectations that we have right now should take that into account. As a designer, I like to look at it as I can put a system in today, and I always ask the question of where do you want this, or where do you see how you're going to use this 3 to 4 years from now? If we take that into account beforehand, then we're not buying equipment, replacing it when that time comes. We can just add on, and it adds a feature to it. It might cost a little more to do that, but then it costs a lot less over the whole scope of the project.
Great, awesome. Thanks so much for chatting with us today, Eric.
Sure.
Appreciate it. Thanks for joining Integrated Building Systems for this episode of Tech Talk. If you have questions, need help with the project, or have suggestions for a future topic, please get in touch. We look forward to helping you communicate better by making your building smarter.